Green Bay has won all 6 games against winning teams this season. All right, right now, Damian Woody joins the debate. What's up, Damian?
What's up, everybody? What's going on?
What's up, big boy? Look at the tie.
Yeah, very dapper.
Look at the tie. Oh my goodness. All right.
I feel like, what? I feel like I'm going to change it up today. It had nothing to do with you, though.
It had
but
everything to do with me.
A little bit.
It had everything
Not
to
just
do
a
with
tie,
me.
a
Because
tie
I told
bar.
you.
Right.
And not only that, I'm going to take him out. I'm going to take the man out before Christmas and get him a few ties. He knows.
Stephen A., you don't even have a tie on
Because
right now.
I'm me. I'm special.
Oh,
I'm special.
okay.
He knows that compared to Big Boy, I'm special. I get to do that.
Okay, I see how you roll.
All right, let's get to the topic.
I'm going to change the color of your suit, too. You wear that blue all the time. We're going to get you in a little gray, brown, some other stuff, too. We're going to work on it.
All right, Stephen A. got his new contract. He's going to take you Christmas shopping.
Don't lie. I'm not making that much. I'm not making that much. No.
All right, let's get to the topic. And, Max, I'll start with you. Which team needs a win more, the Packers or the Niners?
I think the Niners need the win more because I'm looking at their division, and as much as we talk about it, the team sport and all these things, why do the quarterbacks get overpaid? Because quarterbacks are overpaid. Like the next guy up gets the most, but they're not all worth it. Why? Because if you think you have a special guy, you know he can make the difference. I'm going to go back to my Deshaun Watson argument. In many respects, the Texans should be pretenders, not contenders. But because you have Deshaun Watson, I believe in a close game, he can be the difference. When I look at those two divisions, I'll enlarge it a little bit, right? I look at those two divisions, it may be unfair to Kirk Cousins. He's been playing very well recently. But when I look at who is on the Niners' tail versus who is on the Packers' tail, I look at Russell Wilson in an MVP season with Pete Carroll as coach and the way they've played all year. And then I look at the Minnesota Vikings with Kirk Cousins. I'm much more comfortable as a Packers fan than I am as a Niners fan right now based on who else is in my division. And therefore, I think the Niners need to win more. Yeah, right, Niners.
I believe the Packers need to win more. And here's the reason why. I think that if the Packers are at Lambeau Field, their chances of getting out of the NFC and representing the NFC in the Super Bowl elevate exponentially. I think if that's not the case, it dissipates just as significantly. I don't believe, even though they could because of Aaron Rodgers, I don't believe that San Francisco is losing this year on their home turf in the postseason. I don't believe it. But I do believe they'll lose on the road. I don't trust porn star Jimmy. I don't trust Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't believe it's going to happen. I trust him at home with that crowd buzzing and that defense feeding off of it adrenaline-wise and everybody up in their game with a chance to get at the Super Bowl. Oh, he'll rise to the occasion then. But in hostile confines and on the road, and I know that running games go on the road, defenses go on the road. I get that, all right? But inclement weather, freezing temperatures. This Lambeau Field, man, the frozen tundra. I don't believe porn star Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? Loving Malibu and things of that nature. That's Southern California, even though it's in Northern California when you're playing during the season. I know where you like to be in the off season. He damn sure ain't Lambeau Field. I don't believe it. And I believe that Green Bay needs this game more to do everything they can to get a home turf advantage in the postseason. That's what I believe. That's why I think they need it more.
I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers for a couple reasons. One, I think Max alluded to it. When you look at the division and you look at the NFC West, they got potentially the MVP of the National Football League within that division, Russell Wilson. Folks, the Seattle Seahawks, they're not going anywhere. Okay, they're going to go toe-to-toe with the San Francisco 49ers until the end of this whole thing. Number two, I trust Aaron Rodgers more on the road than I do Jimmy Garoppolo. I think it's imperative for the San Francisco 49ers to get home field advantage because I think that will be their biggest advantage with the way they play defense, the way they run the football, and what Jimmy Garoppolo brings to that equation as far as being another complementary piece to that football team. I know Aaron Rodgers can doesn't matter where the venue is, what's going on, Aaron Rodgers can go anywhere, anytime, any place, and go get the job done. I'm not so sure that the San Francisco 49ers with Jimmy Garoppolo can go into any venue on the road and get it done.
Yeah, Stephen A., your argument could easily be flipped around and say, because of what you said, boy, the Niners need that win. But I'll also say this. Let's look at quarterbacks in both situations. Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, right? You just feel like he's going to be all right, right? Because in those tight spots, when the game gets close, you trust Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins not as much. And it's not necessarily the reverse with the Niners. It's not that I don't trust Jimmy G. I think he has something to him. But Russell Wilson, boy, you better put a little bit of daylight between you and Russell Wilson if you got the chance. Don't you got to do it because that's the Aaron Rodgers of that equation. That's the MVP of the league. That's the guy you believe in. And also, you know what? The Niners have come down to earth. They've won some. Not only have they lost recently, but when you look at their wins, they're close, tough wins. You go, they maybe have caught a break just then. They need to put in a good performance and get back to showing you why by week 8 or something like that, you're like, hey, they might be the Super Bowl favorites.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question, because I picked the Minnesota Vikings to win the NFC North, okay? And they've been playing the past couple of weeks without Adam Thielen. You know, one could argue maybe their best wide receiver on their team. Do you think the Green Bay Packers will win that NFC North with the way the Minnesota Vikings have been playing recently?
Well, I will say this to you. My answer would be no if Kirk Cousins continues to play the way that he's been playing in recent weeks since essentially getting called out by Thielen and then obviously Diggs reportedly wanting to be traded before saying he didn't want to go anywhere. But pressure breaks pipes. And what is the word on Kirk Cousins? The minute pressure elevates, ultimately he won't get it done. So if that Kirk Cousins is in the fold, which he obviously is, we're talking about pressure here. Chicago and Detroit might be out of the mix, but Green Bay is right there. And because Green Bay is right there with them, and you got him against Aaron Rodgers with an NFC North title on a crown on the line, of course I'm going to go with that bad man.
And then think. Remember when Rodgers was really balling? There was like 2 or 3 weeks where he looked like Aaron Rodgers again.
Yeah.
Boy, the Packers look so good. They've been winning with like the worst version of Aaron Rodgers we've ever seen. They've been winning.
I don't
so
feel
there's
that
room.
way.
There's like, but if Aaron Rodgers looks like he did at any point when it matters most, which is likely, that he did in that 2 or 3 week period, good luck beating the Packers.
He's got 17 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. Got a 102 quarterback rating. It's just that, guys have been hurt, and he's still familiarizing himself with Mr. LaFleur.
Right. What happens when he gets familiar? Problems.
How many weeks do you need to feel familiar? Anyway, Damian, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We appreciate it. I liked your tie today.
Appreciate it. That's all that matters.
Look at that, Roz.
All right, and Ty Barr. Much more to come on First Take. Did Alabama's playoff chances disappear with Tua's injury? Our friend Tim Tebow will tell us what he thinks.